Alright, what's up guys? We're driving. Got Lincoln with me. We're gonna go to the hardware store and we're gonna pick up a 1 1/8 inch socket. So I've been doing a little bit of research on this front drive shaft situation and how I'm gonna adapt that thing. So I have the U-joint bought. I ended up buying like a conversion U-joint, and I'm gonna make the U-joint a little bit bigger than the 1310 that's on the front diff now. So I'm gonna be getting a new yoke for it, but I want to make sure that it's the right spline count and everything. So I don't have the socket to get it off. It's a 1 1/8. I have like a 1 1/16 and one size bigger. So I need to get that socket to pull the yoke off. I just want to verify the spline count, and then I can order one. I just don't want to order the wrong thing. So that's what we're doing. All right, so we got the 1 1/8 socket. I use chrome sockets on my impact. Hashtag. We're gonna try to rip this thing off. I want to verify the spline count. So now I'm gonna count the splines. All right, so this is the 26 spline. I kept finding different ads and stuff that we're seeing 27 once in a while. So this one is a 26. So I'm gonna probably see if I can go order one of these things locally. That's what I think I want to do, is order one locally. Just in case it is not the right one and it doesn't work, then I can return it, like if I get it from O'Reilly's or something. All right, guys, so I did find the yoke that I want to use. So I did end up getting it. I did end up getting it from O'Reilly's. It was $69. They are going to have to special order it and have it in, or it was at their distribution center or whatever, but it's basically Christmas weekend right now. It's Saturday, and they're not going to get it in until after Christmas, so it'll be Wednesday when I get it. So it'll give me some time to kind of work on some other things. But I feel a lot better about doing that because it was only about $20 more than getting it online somewhere, or on eBay somewhere. But then if for whatever reason it doesn't work, then I know I can take it back. So for me, it was worth the extra 20 bucks to do that. So what I'm getting is it's basically like a Dana 30, Dana 35 pinion yoke. That is a 26 spline pinion yoke, but it has the 1330 U-joint. Typically, like what's on there now is a 1310. I wanted to go with a 1330. So that's what it is. So I can probably post in the video like a screenshot that I was using. I found an eBay auction that had a shitload of parts for it. So what I did was I found a part number that I wanted, went to O'Reilly's to see if they had it, and then used the eBay auction to kind of cross-reference the vehicle model year and searched for that one. So searched for the part number specifically, and then searched it through like a 96 Ford F-150, and it popped up that way. So I do have a list that I believe is accurate, so I can share that with you guys if for whatever reason you guys are trying to do the same thing. And let's go into a little bit more about U-joints. So I'm going to try to take this U-joint out because I'm not going to be using this. I bought a conversion U-joint that's going to be like I did from the GM to the Ford 1330 size. So I'm going to take this thing out, show you guys how I want to do that, and then we can probably just talk about U-joints a little bit. So I've done a few different drive shaft conversions from like Ford into GM, and I did one with a Nissan, with a Chevy, and I did a couple things. I learned a little bit, but while I was researching this, it took me like 2 days really looking into this. It probably shouldn't have taken that long, but it did, and I feel like I learned some things, so I want to share those and get them out there if anybody's ever in the same situation. So let's do that. If I seem like a little bit out of it right now, it's because I took some Benadryl a couple hours ago, so a little bit, whatever. And I started to get like a little weird rash on my arms, and I get this thing almost every time I work on the vehicle. So sometimes it can get really bad where the skin will like break open and bleed and kind of gross, whatever. But I'm on Benadryl right now. but vehicle related. I've been getting this same situation happening for probably almost 10 years, and I haven't been able to figure out what's causing it yet. So it's between fuel, oil, transmission fluid, or rust. Trying to break it down, and I think I have it narrowed down to rust now, because I did get it recently, and the only thing that I've been working on really was this drive shaft and getting the transmission back in the truck. And I'm sure you guys have seen from all the videos, this frame is really rusty. So I've gotten it several times working underneath this vehicle and other vehicles. But usually when you're underneath, you're doing, draining oil and draining transmission fluid, taking the trans out, or changing the oil, changing the fuel filter, or changing the fuel pumps, or doing something weird. So there's always multiple things going on. But this one, the only thing I was really messing with was that rusty fucking drive shaft. So, and I noticed this time I just got it on my hands because I was wearing the long sleeves the whole time. I think I might have it narrowed down now, and I think I just need to stay away from the rust because I think that's what's causing it. So I hate wearing gloves though. Long sleeves are okay, but I hate wearing gloves. I've covered that in other videos. I try them, I don't like them. So then I end up getting my hands full of shit and whatever. Guess I gotta start wearing gloves. All right, so this is the front drive shaft. This is from a Chevy 1500. And this is quite a bit different than the Ford U-joints that I'm used to. So all the swaps that I've done before, I've always used the Ford U-joints. And it's like a 1310, 1330, 1350. That's what I have on the truck right now. Well, this is what's actually on the truck now. This one is a 1350. I have a 1350 on front and back. So I ended up having to find the 4L80 output shaft that had the 1350 U-joint holes, and then this rest was all custom made, and then I ended up getting the 1350 rear yoke and just did it that way. So this is a 1350 greaseless U-joint. So as I was searching around, I wanted to find a greaseless U-joint. There's a lot of greasable U-joints that come out there, but they have a grease channel through the whole thing, and they come with the grease zerk and all that stuff, but I didn't want something that had a channel in it, so I feel like the factory design is greaseless, and I feel like that's going to be a lot stronger than something that has a hole drilled all the way through the middle of it. So I wanted to find greaseless, so I ended up ordering one. It was like the only one that I found. So the GM U-joints are a little bit different, and this is kind of where my learning came in, what I had to learn because I wasn't familiar with it. So the GM sizes are all different. They're still greaseless, but like this one has this little ring on the inside. These things actually have these little plastic pins. So this is like a nylon filled ring inside there. That's what's holding the caps in. So it's like a nylon injection. So I'm gonna have to melt that thing out to get this U-joint out of there. And then when it gets replaced with like an inside snap ring here. So basically the new U-joint that I got is gonna be it's a 1444 or an S44 or Saginaw. There's like quite a few different names for it. So I think that's maybe why it was a little hard to find. But ended up finding one that's the 1444 to a 1330 U-joint that's going to have U-bolts holding it in there. So that should be pretty good. So when I was searching around for this thing, I was searching for quite a while trying to figure stuff out because I thought it was a 1330 size. So I was doing the measurements on it and it was slightly different. So I knew that wasn't the right size. So I ended up finding some different things online and cross-referencing parts and figured out what size I needed for that thing. But I almost think in a way that my little bit of knowledge that I did have on U-joints kind of fucked me over because I was trying to stick with what I knew and that wasn't right. So it really took my search in a whole new direction when it didn't need to be there. And I ended up doing a search after hours of searching. I ended up doing a search that led me to an auction on eBay that said Ford to GM conversion U-joint. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Because it was like analysis paralysis in a way that I was like way over analyzing everything, making it so complicated. And I feel like if I didn't know shit about U-joints, it would have been a lot easier because I would have just searched GM to Ford U-joint conversion or something. I would have searched something really fucking simple and basic and found it that way. But it took me way longer than it needed to. So I feel like I have the right stuff now, but I wanted to share that with you guys. If you're in this situation, don't overcomplicate it. Just figure out some of the basics or just do something super simple, because I'm like, well, this is a really weird swap. It's probably not really done that much, so I'm going to need this thing and find something special. And you find the U-joint on there for 20 bucks just searching for something basic. So I'm going to stop rambling now. We'll get this thing out there. I'll show you how to melt that stuff out, and then we'll get the U-joint out. All right, so first thing I'm going to do with these, and I'm not going to use this joint at all. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a torch, and I'm going to melt this nylon plastic ring out of there. So there's 2 holes, one on each side, and this is just like a plastic injection. You can see these little plastic goobers. Just keeps pushing out. So now all that plastic should be melted out of there. We should be able to start to attempt to knock this thing out. Alright, so I have a large socket. Basically, I'm going to use the hammer method. So what I'm going to do is use a socket large enough that the cap is going to be able to be driven in, and then I'm going to use a small socket to drive the other cap in from this side. So you could use a press or a vise, but this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to throw some heat on it, and I'm just going to heat both of these up, and then I'll start to give her a whack. You can see, I don't know if you can see. You can see that cap is starting to get driven in. So then it'll be starting to come out on the other side. There you go. Well, this thing's basically ready to come out. It's a little warm, but you probably should have known that. You can see the cap came off the one side. Cap with the needle bearings is in the socket. Now this whole U-joint is out. So that's pretty much that as far as driving it out. So now I'm just going to go ahead and probably clean up all the plastic, clean up the rest of the joint. So to show this a little bit better, this U-joint actually just has a little plastic, a little groove in there, and then it's just injected with plastic. That's what holds it in there. So then the new one will actually have this ring groove inside a little bit farther, and then it'll actually be a inside snap ring that snaps together on the inside of this groove. So that center groove isn't used anymore. And there you go. That's pretty much that. Alright, so I got the U-joint out. Now I just got to wait on the new U-joint. So it's going to be the 1440 to a 1330 size. I did order the bigger yoke. So this one here is a little bit narrower. This is for the 1310 size. So the one that I got is actually a little bit bigger. It's for the 1330. They're listed for a bunch of vehicles like F-150s, F-250s, Excursions, a lot of Jeep stuff, some Volvo stuff. I mean, there was a whole big list that yoke actually works for. So not really sure what else to say about that. It's a pretty popular part, it sounds like. So I could just say that it's from like an F-250. That way it sounds really badass. That's probably what I'll go with. But other than that, guys, not a whole lot going on. I just got that done. I'm waiting on parts. Christmas is right around the corner, so going to be busy with that stuff. I'm just going to be kind of tinkering around the next couple days, trying to do little stuff each day. So I think while I'm waiting on the other parts, if I'm really ambitious, I'll probably start buttoning up all of this stuff instead of waiting on it and then finishing, you know, front and rear drive shaft, and then I still have to do all that crap. So while I'm waiting on that, I think I'm going to build a new rear drive shaft. I don't know. I might just cut down the one that I have. If this works out well, I might just cut down that big black shaft right there. I might just cut that one down and repurpose it instead of building a new one. A new one's going to be probably $300 or $400. I might just be able to cut that one down for like $100. Assuming that everything works. I guess in my head, I'm just thinking, like, if this really doesn't work and it starts to break all the time, I'll probably end up going back to two-wheel drive. Then I have the same drive shaft, but I'm probably going to end up, just because of cost, cutting that one down, resizing it, and then just keeping the measurements on hand so I know exactly what the length is, and then I'll be done. But anyways, thanks for watching. Have a good one.